Good evening and welcome to Sugar and Silk, brought to you exclusively by Ace Podcast Nation. My name is Ben Doughty.
My name is Michael Silk Olajide.
And we are joined by...
My name is Terrible Tim Witherspoon, former two-time heavyweight champion of the world.
Good to see you again, Tim. It's been a minute.
I know, but I always been thinking about you guys. Me and Mike been talking for a while. We've been doing stuff together, you know. Yeah. Kind of feel good about it.
Yeah, Tim, you look really good, man. Let me just say, you look really good. You look happy. Your face looks like, you know what I mean? You didn't get the wear and tear of boxing. I like that.
Oh, thanks. I've been taking all kind of, Brian been giving me all this stuff for my insides, my body. Like I've been taking smoothies. I feel so much better. I lost weight. I'm down to 239, first time in 40 years. And I've been exercising. We've been collaborating, trying to keep boxing on the right track. Yeah. You too.
Yep.
I thank you. And you look good too.
I think George Hansen Jr., the Philadelphia boxing guy, he always says that Tim just doesn't age. He just doesn't get any older. It's a bit like the Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray kind of parable, where maybe Tim's got an oil painting somewhere in the basement, which is getting more and more decrepit as we speak. But Tim is not reflecting any of the aging process at all.
Either that or he knows Faust.
Yeah, but let's cut straight to the chase, guys. Jumping straight in, I always like to talk about heavyweights with Tim. In fact, he's probably my number one authority to talk about heavyweight boxing with. I've got to say, last night Anthony Joshua decisioned Jermaine Franklin at the O2 Arena in London. 12 rounds, tough fight, drew mixed reviews. I've got to be honest, I saw highlights because I was working last night and I can't find the full fight online, but I saw every round, excerpts of every round. I saw the story of the fight at least. Tim, I'm guessing you saw it. What did you make of it, champ?
I knew about the fight and I wanted to watch it, but like I've been babysitting my grandkids, and that was important to me, taking care of Shania and stuff. So people that we've been on podcasts before, they had it, but I couldn't get a chance to watch it. But I did see some of it, and it looks to me that Joshua improved a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah,
he improved a little. He kept his hands here now. Yeah. He kept his hands here now more where he used to keep them lower. So somebody was on him, so he kept his hands up here, which was a good sign. Was a good sign. But there was a lot of other things that it seemed like he was the same person.
But Tim, you and I know, and Ben, you know it too. You can have your hands up all you want, but if you can't see the punch coming, if you're not able to focus on the dude's hands and you can't see the punch coming, how many guys have we seen get knocked out with their hands up like this, right?
Yeah, you can have them wrapped around you. And
you can have all this that kind of stuff, but if you cannot see the punch coming, you're going to get clocked, and that's all.
Billy Graham talked about this. The guy who trained Ricky Hatton for most of his career before he, went his own way. He went with Floyd Mayweather Senior for a while. Ricky, but it didn't work out too successfully with Floyd Senior. But the guy who trained Ricky Hatton for the bulk of his career, he was talking one time to an interviewer from Boxing News who was talking about Ricky Hatton's low left hand, and he said, "I know Ricky holds his left hand low. Do you think I'm daft?" He said, but I've seen fighters that hold their hands right up like this and their noses are spread all over their faces. He said, so he made the point that it's not always about the hand position, right?
Let me say this. But when your hands are here, you got to know why they're there. You got to know what the purpose are there for. Yeah. So real quick, when your hands, hold on. When your hand is here, let me try to get that right. When it's here for you to block jabs. And not just to be there. It's there to block that punch that hits there, that hits on this side, but also this. So you have boxers with their hands there, but there's more to it that you could do with that. And somebody has to know, somebody has to know what to say to you when your arms are tight. There's a lot you could do. Block body shots, uppercuts, counter, block the jab, like I was saying. So his hands was there, but he didn't use that tactics. That tighten up defense. He didn't use what he was supposed to use, and he just stayed there. Okay, it looked good, but there's other things you got to show the boxers when his hands are there. Blocking jabs, and he never slipped either, Ben. I didn't see him slipping.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. So one real quick thing.
He's very.
One more quick thing. I heard that they were looking for a trainer. Yes. They're everywhere. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. Guys like me, Michael, we everywhere. Why they was looking for? They was in America looking for a trainer. Why didn't they come to Philly? What's going on, Ben?
Yeah. Well, he settled in Texas in the end with Derek James. Do you have an opinion of Derek James as a coach? Derek James.
Who?
Derek James.
Never heard of him. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No disrespect.
Ben, do you have the 411 on him? You have 411 on him, Ben?
Well, he worked with the Charlos. You know, I believe he works with Errol Spence too, right? I mean, he has a resume, he has a body of work. Yeah. Some people speak highly of him, Derek James. They talk of him. Okay. I think
I never heard of him.
No, okay. But you know, how much do you think, Tim and Michael, a trainer can do for a fighter who is already in his 30? Is Anthony Joshua 31 at this point? 32?
He is, 31, 32.
In that ballpark, right? How much can you do for a fighter at that stage of his career, Tim, in your opinion? When he's obviously already had lots of trainers feed into him.
Real quick. For example, my trainer. They was calling him to do stuff. Slim Robinson, they was calling him, not Ernie Shavers, for the Holmes. I mean for the Ali. What's his name? Kenny Norton, Eddie Mustafa. Ask Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Ask Eddie Mustafa. Other boxers. I went around with Slim and he tightened them up, showed them what to do. He still can learn. Joshua still can learn. It's just who's in front of him that's going to give him confidence. I would hit the hammer with him. I would go running with him. Some of these trainers just come there with a tie on and stuff, and they just want to give you directions. But I can give you inspiration. I'll go run with you. I'll hit that hammer with you. I'll hit the heavy bag with you and show you. These are type of things the new guys don't really do. They want to wear a tie to the fight and be like a trainer. No, I'm a run with you. I'm gonna give you inspiration. Yo, man, that's what a lot of these guys need to do. They don't want to sit with a tie. I'll run. I'll do stuff with them just to give them some inspiration. That helps. But those skills, man, those skills. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right, brother. You're right on. It's all about the implementation of skills and the attributes. He hasn't shown any different attributes than he's shown before in his prior fights. Joshua has not. He has not improved at all. He's not done anything different. Maybe he's in better shape. Maybe he's not. He holds his hands up higher. If that's the end game, then that's not going to do it, because his biggest problem is in fighting Fury and fighting Wilder and in fighting anyone else he's going to fight that's like top 5, top 3. He's predictable. And the last thing you want to be in boxing is predictable. You just know he's going to throw left. These guys, especially Wilder, for instance, he has the reflexes. He'll knock him out before he even brings his hands back. Because while you know, Joshua was doing this and trying to measure him up with the jab and doing all these ABCs, it's predictable for a guy like Wilder's just going to come over that. He's just going to smoke it. And there's no way. I mean, we know Wilder can do one thing, and that's punch. He may get caught too, by the way, and I like Wilder, but I don't like he can't. His reflex is much faster. He gets his punches off much faster, and Joshua has not learned to pull the trigger faster on any hand, from what I saw last night.
So
I think Anthony is a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Ben.
He is. He probably is, because Wilder, the bar is so low technically with Wilder. Certainly so it seems.
But he can just pull the trigger so fast. That's all I'm saying. He pulls the trigger fast. So by the time Joshua's you can see him thinking to throw the punch. So as soon as he's thinking, this guy's going to be letting the hands go.
That's the thing with Joshua. It looks like it's not natural to him. None of it's natural to him at all.
No, he doesn't get his head out the way at all. Like, I don't even understand it. Because as soon as you punch somebody, that's the path they're coming back on. I stick my left hand out like this. Someone's coming back with that, find my chin. I know that when I hit somebody, they're gonna punch back unless I drop them. They're gonna come back with something. So that's a natural reflex for every fighter. So you got to get off to the side. You got to get out of the way. He just stand there in front of a guy like this. It's not gonna be pretty.
That's true.
If you were managing Anthony Joshua, who would you be looking at next? The question goes to both of you in whichever order you wish to answer it.
Well, who would I be looking for next? I'll be looking for a trainer. I'll be looking for a trainer that can show him something. I wouldn't worry about who his next opponent is if I had the right guy teaching him, showing him, and giving him inspiration. Now, you want the next opponent? I wouldn't even care if I was in camp with him 3 weeks or a month. Just bring him on. He lucky that little short guy didn't know a lot of stuff either because he was powerful. Anthony Joshua, lucky that short boxer he was fighting didn't have a better defense, or else he would have been in trouble. Yep.
Yeah. So
I saw the first 5 rounds, and I kind of understood what it was at that point. After I looked at it, I saw, you had a guy, he's kind of like defanged already. He's declawed, he's defanged. He's in there, he's in as good a shape as he's going to get in, but he's a limited opponent. And of course, that's what you want because your coach and you're working together for the first time and stuff. But you really expect to see Anthony Joshua throw more than one punch at a time. I mean, you've been boxing this long, you've been doing it this level for so long, you should be throwing some complex combinations. I just didn't see anything that I found it hard to be impressed, and I like him a lot.
Mike, there's no countering. When somebody throw punches at you, you supposed to be in a position to catch him and counter back, and he doesn't have that ability. He doesn't counter back. Sometimes you can see him counter by natural movement, but you got to get taught to counter. Where your hands at? Believe me, if something hit that, you should be able to counter back. If it's up here, if it's lower, if it's in the middle, you should be able, like if the punch come, you should be able to counter back with the right this way or come up this way. Or if it's the left side, as soon as you feel the punch, you should know where that punch, you catch that punch and throw the punch back. Nobody's teaching them that.
Let me ask you guys
and the thing is, he cannot ad-lib. That's the biggest thing. He doesn't ad-lib. He only goes off the script. As soon as he has to go off script, it's a wrap. He's not doing anything, and that's
which
the
shows
biggest
you don't have those you don't have those good instincts for the ring. I wanted to ask you guys. Now we're talking technical. When you block a punch and counter, right? You were saying, Michael, I know that you felt it was actually better to catch and counter with the same hand that you caught with, rather because you could. If someone throws let's say a left hook at me, I could block it with the right hand. This is probably coming out backwards on the thing, but and come back with my left hook, right? Which is blocking.
No, say that again.
Catch with one hand and coming back with the other hand, right? But you believe, Michael, it's actually better to catch with that hand than hit with the hip. Counter with the same hand that you caught with.
No, not always. This is an option, but if you like for a hook, for instance, if a hook came in and you caught it here, there's no way you're generally going to catch a right hand. You're going to be able to throw the right hand and hit him successfully because this hook, his hook is carrying him off to the side. So if I throw a hook, I catch it and then I come back with a hook. Now, if someone were to throw a right hand at me and I was here and I caught it here, coming back.
You're going to throw a left hook again,
My left hand's going to be closer. If he throws a right hand and I catch it on my left side.
I think you said it in response to a Tony Ayala Jr. clip where he was catching a shot and coming back with a left hook just like that.
Oh, yeah.
You can just catch a jab like this and throw a left hook over top of it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's so many options. No, you're absolutely right.
Okay. Guys, so...
you can also catch a hook on this side and throw your hook back. This here does a whole lot if you knew what to do with it. Just one hand in front of your face. You can throw hooks over it. You can throw uppercut by catching anything. You can catch a 1-2 with this.
Yes.
You just got to keep practicing. 1-2, boom, boom, throw your punch. Just with this hand in front. We're not even talking about all this other stuff. We're not even talking about your shoulders. Right here. Just keep it in front of your face. Boom, boom.
Well, that was often your default position. You often would have your hand there default position, and if you needed to put it there, you would. But it was in front of your face a lot of the time. With your shoulder. They call it Philly shell, right? But you had the left hand low sometimes with the chin tucked into the shoulder and the right hand in front of your face, ready to block both the straight punches, the jab and the cross. Well, you don't like the cross, Michael. Sorry, the jab and the straight right hand. Yeah,
he would love it. He would love it if he practiced it. He would love it if he practiced it. Believe me. You talking about the cross? You talking about the cross?
No, what I'm saying is, Michael Olajide does not believe it's a right cross. He's like, "Where's the cross?" He says it's just a straight right. He doesn't accept that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Shania,
you won't go like this. Come on, Tim. Look at nobody go like this when they punch across like that. That's punching across your body. You twist.
I'm sorry. Do that again. Do that again.
Who punches anyone across there like that? Nobody punches anyone across their body.
I don't understand.
Right like that.
Like
you went.
Sorry, you kind of broke up.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of interference there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shania, you gotta help me. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no problem. But we were just saying, like Ben and I were going back and forth on the fact that, like, they call it a right cross, and I say when you throw a right cross, people throw when you throw it like this, they call it a right cross. Get the plug and plug that in. It's a straight right hand. It's always a straight right hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't have a problem with the term cross, but now it's this nagging voice in the back of my head, your voice. Every time I'm talking to a client, whatever, doing PT, and I'm like, okay, double jab, right hand. Sometimes I might say right cross, and I think, oh, Michael doesn't like that, and it makes me start thinking about it when I'm supposed to be doing a session. So I've dropped the term almost because you've made me feel guilty about using it.
Right, thank you. But you realize, but you understand now. You're thinking, okay, well, it isn't really across the body, right? You're twisting your body.
What?
But it isn't really across it, legitimately.
If we're getting really technical,
wait a minute.
There's only so much room inside the frame, right? The jab.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I had to do something. What was y'all talking about? What was you talking about?
The straight right?
Straight right hand. Whether he doesn't like calling it a cross because he doesn't think it comes across. He thinks it goes straight.
What?
Straight right hand.
Yeah? Oh, you don't believe in it coming across?
I don't think it's
okay.
Straight.
Okay, you only throw that. To me, I was taught to only throw this right cross is when they're in close. Don't never throw the right hand, the left hook or the right hook.
Yeah, you're talking about the right hook in close, right?
Yeah, you got to be in close to throw that. Do not throw that when somebody's far away from you because it'll leave you open. Your head, you'll be all open here.
But Tim, the masterful thing that you did, and I actually think you were the most renowned person for this shot in boxing history, is the overhand right. If I think Michael probably agrees with me on this. If you say who's the finest expert at the jab, they'll probably say Larry Holmes. They might say Sonny Liston. If you say greatest left hookers, then they might mention a guy like Ray Robinson even. But if you ask who was the best exponent of the overhand right, they probably say Tim Witherspoon. Anyone would probably say that.
I seen somebody throw it better than me. I'm telling you. I seen a couple of guys. I said, "Who taught you that stuff?"
Whoa! Buster Drayton had a nice overhand right. Buster Drayton.
Yeah,
he was born. We from the same neighborhood. You know that my grandmom, and him lived on the same block. Buster Drayton, and I started going to the gym. He passed away.
Just recently.
Yeah, I started going to the gym with him, and he the one first took me. Him and this guy Kenny Reese took me to the gym, and he had this old trainer that really wasn't, but Buster was already in there, and then later on Buster left, but I left that guy early too and went with Slim. But that's how remember Earl Hargrove, Earl the Pearl Hargrove. We from the same neighborhood. Yeah.
That's wild. Yo, so you were in the same gym. What was the name of the gym you were at?
It was the old Passion gym right near the Italian market where Sylvester Stallone made the Rocky movie. It was right over top, right there. And Passion, I lived 10 minutes away from that gym. Remember with him and Sylvester Stallone, they was going down that market? I'm only born and raised 10 minutes from there. And I went on to become the real 2-time heavyweight champ from Philly. It's an Italian neighborhood. There's an Irish neighborhood, and the blacks live further over. But we used to go in there and play baseball, football, and the boxing gym was over top of what's down. It was a bar. It was a bar, a pub downstairs, and we would go up in there and train. It was old time stuff back then. Mike Rossman, the Jewish bomber. Who else? The Everett brothers was around too, if you remember. Remember Tyrone?
Yeah.
But they was at another gym with Jimmy Arthur, the trainer Jimmy Arthur. No, Jimmy Arthur was at that gym too. I was just an amateur, guys. And it was a great experience, man. That was a great experience going up there and boxing and training with those guys, man. It was really cool. Really cool.
John David Jackson. John David used to train there as well for a minute, didn't he? John David Jackson.
I don't remember him. He's not from Philly.
No, he's not from Philly. He's from the Pacific Northwest, but he used to come to Philly and spar before he won the world title. He actually went to Philly and he was working down there because I know he worked with Curtis Parker a little bit. I don't know.
Curtis Parker. I was working in, so he was at Joe Frazier's gym.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He was there. So I was in South Philly. Joe Frazier's gym is in North Philly.
Oh, okay.
And then you have the West Philly guys, the Everett brothers. The Everett brothers was in South Philly too. Saad Muhammad was only 10 minutes. Matthew Saad Muhammad, he was only 10 minutes away from the old Passion Street gym. So all those guys was in that area. All those guys was in that South Philly area. Saad Muhammad, the Everett brothers, me, the Witherspoon brothers, the Howard brothers was from North Philly. Remember Kevin Howard?
Kevin Howard, who fought Sugar Ray Leonard in his comeback fight.
He was from North Philly.
The spoiler. They call it the spoiler.
The spoiler. I seen him. I seen him about a month ago, 2 months ago, Ben and Mike. And we trying to help former boxers out. And I got his numbers down. We're going to help them also. We're going to help him. And there's other boxers. Mike, all of us been trying to help him out. Right, Mike?
Yep. Yes, sir. 100%.
Trying to do that.
I would love to have someone like Kevin Howard on this show, Silk, because, just to me, it's gold, because you've not seen that guy in all those years since he fought Sugar Ray, really, on any kind of,
I have his number. Real quick. I have his number. I put it somewhere. He called me about going to somewhere. Somebody passed away. Somebody, a referee, so he called me and said, Tim, are you going to come and be there? And I couldn't make it. So I got his number written down, Ben, and I'll get you his number, okay? I'll get in touch and everything.
I would love to talk to someone like Kevin Howard, because it's history to me,
He would love to get on because he's not doing anything. He's just sitting around not doing nothing. And this is what we have to do with the former boxers, man. We got to get them involved so we can keep this thing floating, keep it moving. Before we lose it all. They got Jake Paul and all them guys coming in there interrupting a lot of things, and there's people that want to watch them some like more than they do us. We gotta figure something out, man.
So let me ask you, did anyone see the Roy Jones fight last night? He fought.
I haven't seen it. I'm glad you mentioned it. Did you see it?
Who did he fight? Who did he fight?
He fought some MMA guy and he lost.
He fought It was the guy's professional boxing debut, but he has an MMA background, I believe, an elite MMA background.
No, I think he only have a couple of wins and a couple of losses.
Somebody told me he won a UFC lightweight title, Silk. So, but I don't know anything about UFC, and I don't want to. But I believe somebody told me he's done more than a little. But people seem to fall into two categories on this. Some people say this is shame, this is sad, this is legacy. Destroying, this is, it's poignant and it's sad and it's downbeat. Other people say, no, damn it, he's a grown-ass man. If he wants to fight, who are we to tell him not to fight? What do you do for a living? Somebody was saying, I think the only sad thing is when your parents are 20 years older than Roy and still working in a goddamn factory. You shouldn't be saying nothing about Roy Jones, just tipping your hat. But I understand that argument, but I don't feel it on a gut level. What about you, Silk?
Well, I was with the guys last night. Iran, Poison, Junior Jones. When we're sitting around.
You with the boys? Okay.
Again. Go on.
You was with the boys.
Times Square.
Listen, I was talking to Michael Elijah and Tim Witherspoon only just now. Go on.
So we were sitting there and we were all around one another and they were saying, and we're all like, oh man. Roy's gonna. They were like, Roy's gonna fight, and he should be fighting. I was like, come on, man, this guy's like 2-3. The guy he's fighting, and Roy in his sleep was gonna wipe this dude out. I don't see how it could be. You know what I mean? But sometimes, I guess, if you just haven't fought and you haven't pulled the trigger and you haven't been active and your body's not used to being hit, all the rest of that kind of stuff, you lose that Superman thing. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you become real normal. You become pedestrian. And the guy fighting you thinks of you as pedestrian as well. And, you know, they're not all starry-eyed. You don't look at you that way. They're looking at you as a fight and someone's going to hurt them. So they come in for real. And that's, it's really unfortunate for Roy. I know that when you lose in boxing, it's because you get hit. And when you get hit, that's no good. So I would like to see some fighters, especially ones that you really like Roy, not take any more punishment, because you know what I mean?
know. Well, I heard he turned me down. I heard he turned me down for a exhibition. I don't know whether it was because of he don't think that we could generate the money, but I think the offer went out. I think Damon Feldman called him up and asked him, and he said he don't want to do it. I think we could have did all right, but I got a lot of tricks for his behind. I got a lot of tricks for all that stuff he got. You know,
I'd actually be curious to see that. But you remember, you're saying he didn't want it, right? Roy Jones ducked you, okay, in exhibition. You remember when you ducked me, Tim? Because I was supposed to move around with you years ago, really before we became friendly. And then you said you couldn't do it in case your son lost his license. So this guy ducked me. No, it's true, but it's obviously not full circle.
In full circle.
That is a true story, but I obviously don't believe it. He did my corner once, so you know. He did my corner one time a few years ago, which was cool.
Tim, yeah, we had fun, man. That's my second home. The UK is my second home. If anywhere else I would want to live, it would be in the UK. If it wasn't America, I'll be living in the UK. You might not like it, Ben, over there, but I really had fun over there.
I love London.
I got a grandson over there. I got a grandson in Barnsley. His name is Oliver Charles.
Do you know what would be cool? Because you're coming over here, I believe, at some point, Silk. You are, right?
Yeah.
And if Tim could coincide another trip back, we could all get together here at some point.
That would be amazing. That would be a good time.
I would love to.
We could find like Botanic Road or whatever it is. Find that.
Y'all guys in them big words. But listen. Getting back to Anthony Joshua, right?
Yeah.
I was real serious about you know, they could have saved, and me and Ben talked about it. They could have saved him a couple of losses. They could have saved him. They're so loyal to each other and thinking about the money, they forgot about his legacy, that he could probably still be undefeated. Deontay Wilder the same way. I'm sitting here, you guys sitting there. Here I am. I got knowledge better than a lot of those guys that they going after. Yeah. I heard he was over here searching for a trainer.
Yeah.
Don't pay me. Just let me show you. Don't give me a dime.
Yeah.
Just let me show you some stuff. At least try that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wouldn't even do it. I'm trying to figure what is it that they're doing that's causing them to make these decisions. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm better than them. Any one of those guys that they got in their corner now. I'm not the best, but I'm better than any of those guys they got in the corner. What's the matter with them? I'll do it for free. And if you don't win or you don't do good, you don't got to pay me.
Yeah.
What do you think of Alexander Usyk, who obviously Joshua has 2 losses to, and who Tyson Fury doesn't appear to be mad keen to get in a ring with?
You talking about Usyk?
Usyk, yeah. Usyk.
Yeah.
Usyk. Real quick, all he has to do is put pressure on Usyk, and because when I first started fighting, Slim told me to put pressure on those guys that move a lot. They don't want to get touched. They don't want to get hit. So touch the closest thing to you. If his hand's out there, hit his hand. Put pressure on his body. He's going to forget about the head. And I did it with the bounty hunter. Remember Mike the bounty hunter? Remember him? He started cussing Slim out. He got mad at me. Like Like they was sparring with me for my fight. Him, Oliver McCall, Burt Cooper, they was whipping my behind until I got in shape. And then Mike the Bounty Hunter, he was doing it to me. Then Slim said, look, Tim, it's time to turn this thing around. And Slim told me, put the pressure on him, everything. Mike jumped out. He cussed Slim out and everything. We exposed him. You got to put pressure on him. You got to be in shape. To chase, you step around. You got to be in shape. But you can put pressure on him, go to the body hard. And there's a way you fight southpaws. When they lead hand, you got to stay on the outside a lot. A lot of guys stay in the middle and get hit with the southpaw left hand. But when his arm goes out like this, you got to slip to the outside and move in and make him turn into your punches. And a lot of trainers don't know that today. I got to show you guys this one day. You know what I'm saying? That lead arm.
Something, Tim. Tim, let me ask you. When was boxing at its best for you? Your career, your professional career. When did you enjoy yourself? You were just absolutely happy and you only saw unending happiness for yourself.
Early in my career, when I didn't know that much about boxing, when I had my first 6 or 7, 12 fights, everything was happy. Everything was good. I was sparring. Yeah. And then my managers and them got caught selling drugs. Larry Levin, if you remember Dr. Snow in America, he was a dentist and he had dentist friends. And every time I go into Mark Stewart, he passed away. He was my manager. He said, man, we're going to get Don King. I'm going to make sure he pay you. So every day I come in the room and I'm seeing I go into the office and everybody's sniffing. And I'm saying, something funny here. You got the secretary doing this. You got guys coming in sniffing. Everybody was snorting cocaine. And Bernard Hopkins' uncle, Artie McLeod, he was there. Sterling Quick, my brother Anthony. We stayed in the building with all musicians, Captain Sky, Brandy Wells. We were all in this one building in Center City, Philly. And then when he got busted, that's when everything went downhill. Me and my brother was undefeated. Anthony was like 12-0. I was 13-0. Bernard Hopkins' uncle was undefeated. Then when they got busted by the feds and stuff, we all went downhill, and that's when I started learning.
Hold on a second. Did you
how
say
bad
Artie
boxing
McLeod?
was?
Did you say Artie McLeod?
Artie McLeod. He sparred with Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, Artie McLeod. I remember him. Yeah, wow. I didn't know he was.
He was tough.
Yeah, he was tough.
Yeah, he had gray eyes, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's Bernard Hopkins' uncle. That's Bernard Hopkins' mother's brother.
Yeah.
And we would all stay in that building. And you know what? Real quick, guys, they were asking us for money. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all guys singers, y'all in the band, y'all go to things, and y'all broke?
Yeah.
I was lending them money. And I started learning about the game. I'm saying, wait a damn minute. Y'all guys be on TV and shit, and y'all asking us for money? Yeah. So I would lend them money. Yeah. And they would pay it back, you know, and then we got caught. Then we got caught. Mark Stewart and them got caught. And then they all went to jail. We got sold to Don King. That's what happened. We were beautiful. We were going in a straight arrow. We were all happy. We were all doing real good. And then all at once, everything went downhill. We got shipped to Don King.
Was it Don King? Was it a Don King connect that made it go down? Was it something to do with Don, or was it a mistake someone made? Because it wasn't a loss, right? It wasn't a loss.
No, it wasn't a loss. It was the fact that we went with him and things changed. Like we were living in apartments. My manager brought me a car when I won the fight. We were getting bonuses for winning fights. We were being treated like boxers should be treated. And we were together. We would go to the gym together. We were training, and everything went downhill. When we went to Don King, everything went downhill in terms of money and negotiations. You didn't talk to your manager. You talk Mark. I'm talking about Don King's stepson, Carl. Carl would come in and say, "Well, we got to wait on my dad to see what's going on." What kind of stuff is that? I have to wait for my dad to tell us what we're doing, before we go forward. So,
did he give you a signing bonus, anything like that, Don?
What signing bonus? We didn't even. Sometimes we didn't. When I fought Frank Bruno, I didn't even know how much money I was getting when I was on an airplane.
Wow.
I didn't.
Did you hear what he got?
I didn't know how much money I was getting. when I fought Frank Bruno, I did not know how much money I was getting when I was on an airplane.
And
that's how bad it was.
Mickey Duff and Jarvis Astaire, they paid Don £1 million to bring Tim over. So that Tim didn't see hardly any of that money. I think Tim wound up with about 30 grand or something silly like that.
No, I went on with 90,000.
90,000 from $1 million.
Yeah, after I paid everybody. So it was real quick. It was $500,000. Carl King got half, right? Then they took out all these expenses.
Yeah.
And then my own people was like, Tim, they didn't believe me. And I showed them. And I still paid them. I still paid everybody.
Excuse me.
90,000 for fighting Frank Bruno. I went home with.
But how much? Bruno must have got at least $1 million. Bruno
got $1 million. Bruno got $1.5 million. He got $1.5 million.
Yeah.
And
you know something? Jimmy Tibbs, who trained Bruno for that fight, who didn't trust Terry Lawless at this point, said, and he'd fallen out. He kind of fallen out with Terry Lawless, really. And he said, will you just train Frank for this Witherspoon fight? They knew they were going to go their separate ways. He said, will you train Frank for this fight? And he said, what am I getting? And he said, 10%. And Jimmy said, 10% of what? And he said, well, I think he told him it was 700,000. So, and in the end, Jimmy only got, I don't want to say what he got because that's his business, but it wasn't what he should have got. And he was only told it was 700,000 purse. Okay. So it shows you how.
Well, he damn sure got more than me.
When the trainer get more than you, right? When the trainer gets more than the fighter, you know you got an issue. That's insane.
Well, yeah, and but you know what? The reason I make that point is because people always single out a guy like Don King as some kind of paragon of evil and skullduggery and hucksterism, right? But there are so many guys pulling strokes in this industry, right, Tim?
Oh yeah, all of them. All right.
Yeah. Is Don King especially evil, or is he just better at it? Is Don King especially amoral, or is he just better at that than a lot of guys?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Is Don King really
Go ahead.
Is he an especially evil character or amoral character, or is he just better at playing the game than a lot of those guys out there historically?
Listen, I had a privilege to be with him and one-on-one with him several times, and I saw the real Don. I saw that there was some love in him. I saw that he can be gentle at certain times. I noticed that about him, and he liked me. He liked you if you'll fight, but if you don't fight, he's not going to respect you. Because I seen him do Dwight Davison when Dwight Davison lost to that English guy. I forgot his name. He cussed Dwight Davison out. What's his name?
Tony Simpson.
He cussed Dwight out, but he liked Don liked me. I was always in the training camp. If he did something wrong, I would go in there and try to protect and talk to the guy. Said, Don, what you doing? Why you doing that to the? And he was like, as soon as I go into the front door, he's like, Tim, get out. Because I was always in everybody's business trying to help people because everybody was getting ripped off. But I didn't go a lot of times. Somebody in there come out and say, man, Don did this to me. And I go in there and try to talk to him. He said, Tim, get out. Just go. I don't want to talk to you. But when we was one-on-one, I noticed that he liked me. And I think it's because I did fight. I didn't act like I didn't like I'll act, you know, you like if you're a punk and don't fight, he don't like that. But I fought, but I just don't know why he liked me. Maybe because I didn't walk around like a tough guy or a bully and stuff like that. Maybe that could have been one thing. But if you didn't fight, he would jump on your stuff. He would jump on you. So Tim, I like him. I'm going on with my life. It's over. I'm going on with my life and see if I could just close the book in a positive way. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
You were a sparring partner for Muhammad Ali, right? You moved with Ali?
Yep. Huh?
When was that? You moved with Ali. You actually got in the ring with Ali, was sparring partner. You had an amateur.
Muhammad Ali's training camp is only an hour from my house, hour and a half. Yeah, you just get on and go right to his camp, make a couple of turns, and you go to his camp. So, yeah, it wasn't that far away. And I was sparring with Matthew Saad Muhammad. He knocked out John Conte, and John Conte, I love him, man. He's a character. But he was sparring with. I was sparring with Saad Muhammad. His gym was only 10 minutes away from our gym near the Italian Market. I told you before. So he was going to Ali's camp. So I went up there and was sparring with him. Ali came in one day. We were surprised and said, "Yo, I'm getting ready to fight Larry Holmes." He's seen him spar. He's like, "Oh, okay." He said, "I want you to be a sparring partner." I was just up and coming, and I was like, "Whoa, that's great." And he was acting all cool. I said, "Man, I want to be like him." You know, and that's how I got started. I used to be around with him. I used to hang around with him at the camp. I did real quick, and then you could take it over. He hired me and Aaron Snowell. Not hired. He told us to watch Veronica. And Veronica probably mad at me, but Ali told me. He told me to go down there and make sure that everything's good in the discotheque. So everybody would get finished after the workout and drive down. It was called the Alley, and everybody be partying. So we was me and Aaron Snowell was in the disco. We was watching, and we saw them dancing and like talking like too close. So we went and got Ali. We drove back up to the camp, and we got Ali. We said, "Muhammad, we know who that guy might be." I forgot his name. But we went and drove Ali back. Me and Aaron, we got in the car. We drove back to it's called the Ali. So Ali Muhammad got out the car. Oh God! When he went to the door, everybody was like this, and he walked in. Everybody like Moses, that water that Moses. Remember Moses parted the sea.
The Red Sea, yeah.
When Ali walked in there, everybody split it. They let him walk straight through, and at the very end was Veronica dancing with this dude. And he grabbed her. He grabbed her. They got in the car. We got in the car, drove back. I heard he slapped on the legs with the belt. I don't know, or he just talked to her. But I felt bad after that because I liked Veronica too. She was nice. But Ali, I had to listen to him. He told me to go do this, so I felt kind of bad. I felt kind of bad, and whatever happened happened. They beat the hell out of that dude. The next day they got him in sparring. Eddie Mustafa whipped his butt. I felt bad from blood was everywhere. Then Ali got in there and whipped his butt, and then he left the camp.
What a story that is. That is gold dust.
I'm telling you, man.
I think it was Montel Griffin the other day on Facebook who said Veronica Porsche Ali was the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in the flesh. He's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen.
She is beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Hannah, his daughter, Layla, Hannah, they beautiful girls, man. I was with them when they was little kids. Hannah used to follow me around all the time. Hannah used to follow me around, and there was Matthew Saad Muhammad had a second name. I forgot his Tim. Like Matthew me. Franklin. She said, "I don't like that Tim. I like this Tim." She would choose me one day, then choose the other Tim one day. I remember when she was a little baby, and Layla, she was quiet as hell. She wouldn't say nothing to nobody. Now she talking and everything. You couldn't get Layla to say nothing when she was little. She would just sit there and look and smile with her pretty self. She would look. She wouldn't do nothing. But Hannah, she was everywhere. I'm serious. Layla was quiet. Yes.
Tim, what was your? We talked about the best. What was your worst time in boxing where you really just it was like a bad taste in your mouth. You just couldn't anymore. Or it could be at the start, it could be the end, but it just wasn't going good. It just didn't seem like it was going to happen.
When I took the dive with Bone Crusher, I just had to try to convince people that that's what happened.
When you said you took the dive with Bone Crusher, tell me about that.
Yeah. So what happened was I'm sorry, guys. We found out that Don King was just only interested in Mike Tyson. So we all was in the training camp, me, Tony Tubbs, you name it, Zuma Nelson. He had us all in the camp at one time. You know, it was a big write-off for him. So he came in one day in a limo, and he pulled up, and we were all in the kitchen. Like the kitchen is right there, the gym is there. So we all sat around Don. There's about 30 of us, maybe 25, 30. And he was telling us about Mike Tyson. he was telling us about Tyson because I never heard of him. And Blood Green said, yeah, I heard about him. Oh, yeah, I know Mike. And so he was saying, y'all guys better get in shape because this young kid ain't playing around. This young kid, Mike Tyson, is knocking everybody out. So nobody took heed of him. Nobody was like, okay, this Mike, I ain't worrying about him. And then I saw a video of him. I said, whoa. And then everybody started talking about him. And then we started following him on the television. And then I started getting in shape anyway, regardless. We started getting in good shape. And then you could see where Don was trying to move in and get Tyson. So he no longer cared about us in a way. He wanted to get Tyson. And so the Bone Crusher thing, I was supposed to fight Tony. I was supposed to fight Tony Tubbs. Yeah, I was supposed to fight Tony Tubbs because, guys, you know, I smoked that marijuana. I got in trouble. It was my birthday, December. We was down in Georgia. I was supposed to fight Tony Tubbs, and it was tempting. I smelled the marijuana, but we was in the room just having fun talking because it was my birthday. And I went out there. I said, oh, man, I didn't think about the drug test. So I started smoking with whoever. I forgot who it was. And then later on, the next day, I said, whoa, I might get in trouble. I might get in trouble. And it was too late. So I went to the fight. I won the fight with Tubbs. I tested positive. No, that was then. Yeah. So then when the rematch, we were supposed to give Tubbs a rematch. So I was training for that fight. He came up with a shoulder injury. And I was like, I said, something must be wrong here. Something must be wrong. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you real quick. Let me get that light back on. Okay, so Tubbs came up with a shoulder injury. And I said, something fishy. I said, I wonder what's wrong with that. So they pulled Butcher in. So I took off like 5 days. I said, I ain't fighting. We're going to wait for Tubbs. Then Don called us in and said, yo, the fight is still on. I got Bone Crusher. I messed around and everything. I wasn't ready to fight Bone Crusher. So I said, man, I'm tired of this. I'm getting over, man. I knew I don't know what type of money I was going to get. So I hired the lawyer and everything. And this is when I knew that Don King didn't care about us. I got $600,000 to fight Bone Crusher. And I found out he just wanted me out the way. He didn't care about Bone Crusher. He didn't care about Tony Tubbs. He didn't to line things up to get everybody ready for Tyson. So I knew if I would have went 10, 12 rounds with Bone Crusher, I wasn't going to get the fight anyway because I was talking stuff about Don. He was dripping me off, and I knew that. So you know what? They're going to take this fight from me if I go the distance. I'm not fighting Bone Crusher 12 rounds and get hurt. So I told my corner, I said, look, man, I said, yo, I'm getting out of here. And I had lawyers and everything. And I said, look, I'm going out there. I'm not getting hurt. I was a good actor. If you see me crawling, I had to act so they keep my money. And I feel bad for Bone Crusher because he think he knocked me out. I was the happiest man in the world when that fight was over. I was the happiest man in the world. I didn't have to deal with Don King anymore. I was going with other people. Everything was set up. So I'll take a lie detector test. I feel bad for Bone Crusher because he think, look at my first fight. Every round, I just walked through him like almost. You know, I was fun. But this particular fight, I said, man, and I feel bad for Bone. He in the wheelchair, and I told him, I would tell you the truth if he beat me. I didn't even feel no punch. I didn't feel no punch. So when he hit me, it was the right time to go down, and then I started crawling. I had to make it look good. I crawled on the canvas. Now watch my first fight. You'll see every round I'm walking through Bone Crusher.
In retrospect, Tim, I remember seeing that fight. And it didn't make sense to me.
I bet you're going to play it back tonight. So.
It made no sense to me. I was like, huh? I didn't get it. I was like, what?
No, I said, I bet you're probably going to play it back now tonight, Silk. I bet you're going to play
that.
Yeah,
I'm going to look at it again because it's all going to make sense. Because I remember I was in Vancouver at that time, and I was like, yo, this just doesn't make like Bone. I didn't know Bone Crusher had it like that.
Watch the first fight. Watch the first fight. I walked right through him. In the second fight, and my corner, my corner Country and Country James and everybody's in my corner knew what I was going to do. And I did it. And then we went on. I had the lawyers ready. We sued Don King right after I met with lawyers a couple of days after that. And then we went on to sue Don King, and we didn't win. He still won that too.
Did you have any regrets doing that? Like, did your fighter ego say, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't believe it. Tim Bone Crusher knocked you out. A lot of people will say that. A lot of people will believe you. A lot of people will believe another way. Did that damage the ego or anything?
I didn't care. I would have to live with it. Live with that. You said, look, I did. I would tell you the truth. I would tell you the truth. Okay. I went down. I made sure it was a 3 knockdown rule. I would tell you if he did it, I just feel bad that he had to go through that. That he didn't really knock me out. I was the happiest man in the world when that fight was over. And I paid everybody.
Have you told him to his face?
No, I talked to him. No, Ben, I talked to him and I said, look, man, I told him that Don King was messing me over. He don't care about you. He didn't care about me. He cared about Tyson. He didn't care who won that Bone Crusher fight. He didn't care who he just needed meat and bones for Tyson. And she was setting and if you notice, after he got him, he let who fought him? Mitch Green fought him. He had David Bay fight him? No. He had all these guys lined up to fight him. So he was just lining us up to fight Tyson. But we were just in his way. That's all.
Yeah, we were just in his way. Before, though. Mitch Green fought him before that, though, because if you'd have beat Bone Crusher the second time, you'd have fought
Mitch Green fought us after that, I think. I think Blood fought him after that.
No way. I'll tell you how it broke down. He fought Mitch Green in June 1986. He beat Trevor Berbick November 22nd, 1986. Then he fought Bone Crusher Smith March the 7th, 1987. Okay. If you'd have beat Bone Crusher, which I think was November 1986, if you hadn't took a dive and you'd have beat him, you'd have been fighting Tyson on March the 7th, 1987 for the WBA and WBC titles. That would have been.
And you know another reason why? Another reason why I was taking the dive? I was only getting $50,000 to fight Tyson.
Which is just ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah. I found out that I signed like about 15, 20 contracts just to get back with Don. When the first time when I left and I came back and kissed his ass and said, I'm sorry, guys, for cussing, and told him that I'm sorry. This is what I had to do. I had to go back to Don and tell him I'm sorry. I did all that stuff. I apologized and everything. And even though I knew that he was wrong, I went back, I apologized to him and knowing that I was right. And then we went through the same stuff. He still messed me around. I just wanted to get back in and make some money for me and my family. And it's just that he controlled a lot of things. But now I'm happy. I'm talking to y'all guys. I don't really talk about Don King. There was Experience Me. I'm here with my daughter. I got my kids. I got friends like you guys. I don't want to dwell on Don King, but if we do like a podcast or something, I'd like to talk. But my life is move on. He didn't beat me because I'm still happy. I'm not going to let him do nothing. I'm not going to let him win by being sad, trying to commit suicide or some dumb stuff like that. I'm helping people. I'm on your podcast and we friends. We helping other boxers out. I'm tired of just sobbing around like my world is coming in. I'm not going to let him defeat me.
I got two quick questions, Tim. Two quick ones before you go.
Okay.
What's the hardest you've ever been hit? And what's the hardest you've ever hit somebody? Like you just knew when you hit.
Hardest you ever been hit first?
Yeah. Hardest you ever been hit?
Well, my kid's mother, my kid's mother hit me with so hard one time. No, I'm just joking. Okay, Carter Truth hit me. I was chasing Carter Truth the whole fight. And he caught me off balance and off guard because I was trying to get him. He kept moving.
Yeah.
That's when I know he had a hell of a right hand. He hit me. I didn't feel no pain, but I felt some numbness a little bit. And I buckled a little bit, and I came back on him. Yeah. He hit me pretty good. Carter Truth. Who else hit me? Who else? I think Oliver. He hit me a little bit, but that's doing sparring. That's doing sparring.
Yeah, sparring. I know.
Burt Cooper. Bo Cooper and Bert Cooper and Call the Truth got me real good.
No, so have you ever been legitimately dropped, like officially? Like you had a great chin.
No. Nah.
Right? So you know
what's the heavyweight name? What's that? The Italian heavyweight name? I felt bad about Lou Savarese. Lou Savarese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they stopped the fight too soon, and the ref said he whispered to me. He said, "I didn't stop it too soon." I said, "No, because I just wanted to get paid and get out of there." During that period, I was just trying to get money, and I saw Lou Savarese fight, and I said, "Oh, I didn't really train hard." But when there was a flag, look at the Lou Savarese fight. When he hit me, I went down, but I was more off balance. But when the ref stopped it, I didn't argue or anything. I said, "Oh man, I got some fast money." I didn't care because I knew Tyson was the main man. Everybody else was doing that. And I said to Lou Savarese, I was talking to Lou Savarese. He said, "Man, if you were serious and in shape, you would have knocked me out." And I said, "Man, you did a great job, man. You did a great job." But I watched videos and I was like, "Man, I wasn't in shape." But he kind of like he caught me and I went down, but I wasn't hurt or nothing. And he didn't hit me hard. But it was the right time. I was like, "Whoa, now I got me this money. Now I could just move on." And I felt bad because the person that was supporting me, Dennis Rappaport, was really behind me. And so I was up and down. I had good fights. I knocked guys out. Me and Dennis was cool. Then I had fights that I wasn't. And I felt kind of bad that Dennis was really behind me 100% after I left Don King and stuff like that. I felt bad about that fight, and I think it was one more. But there was some good fights with Dennis that I won. So I was up and down with Dennis. And that particular, I felt really bad because Dennis was behind me 100%, man. And if I wish I would have had him as my promoter or manager in the beginning of my career. Dennis Rappaport, we had Cooney.
Do you still speak to Dennis?
Yeah, on Facebook, I apologized to him. I text him and I apologized to him and told him that some of those fights I didn't train hard, I didn't care, and then some of the fights I did, I told him I apologized because after one of those fights, he gave me $100,000 bonus.
Whoa.
And then at another fight, he bought my kid's mother a brand new car as the bonus. Yeah. And that's how you got to treat boxers. You got to give them stuff that's going to make them work harder or make them feel that you care. He gave me $100,000 bonus. I forgot who it was I fought. And then the second time, he bought my kid's mother a brand new, it was $40-something thousand. Wow. That was my man. He really treated.
Mike Ayala's got nothing but praise for Dennis as well. You know, Mike Ayala says that Dennis saved his life, and he said he apologized to him for failing him in some ways too. He believes when he reflects on his career. You know,
I didn't know that.
Because in an industry where managers don't have the greatest reputation, Dennis Rappaport is one of the rare examples at the high level I can think of where his former fighters have got the highest praise for him, that's kind of special, don't you think, Silk?
Yeah, it's absolutely special. I mean, it's so unique because, I mean, managers and trainers, they're about eating too when it comes down to it. When it comes down to it, it's all about eating. It's all about being able to keep your lights on and all the rest of that kind of stuff, survival instincts. And so, I've had experiences where, you are the meal. You are the meal ticket for a trainer, for your manager, for your promoter. And if that's the case, you're expendable. You know what I mean? At any point, you never know
that's true.
They're always going to deal in their best interest. And once you understand that in boxing, that it's a Wild West. It's like they just discovered gold in California, and everyone's cutting their plot of land out, and they're sleeping on that plot of land, and they got their little pans, and they're shifting for gold. And if you go near their plot, you're going to get shot. That's what boxing has always been, and that's what it continues to be. It has no unifying code. You know what I mean?
And I think you have one more question for Tim. The flip side of it was, what was the hardest he feels he ever hit another fighter? The hardest he ever feels he ever landed? Go on.
I hate to keep talking about it because he passed away. I hit Anders Eklund with that tall guy tall guy that was in the Rocky movie. Remember they showed that little brief thing and I hit him? I hit him pretty hard with that. Yeah. But I also hit other people. I'm getting old now, guys. I'll be 66. No.
Tim, you fucked that.
I hit him really hard with that. I hit him really hard with that overhand. I show that to my
clients all the time when I'm trying to teach them the overhand right. And you know, sometimes I've actually called you on FaceTime and told you to explain it to them when we're on the mitts at fuck. But I show that I was showing it to a young lady who fought last night. I showed it to her on Friday night, her last session. I was trying to show maybe a little bit of a surprise element to use the overhand right occasionally. And I said, watch my man Tim do it to this guy, this Swedish guy. And I am busting that Witherspoon versus Eklund KO out all the time. To try and show a novice
his knockout versus the Cuban. Who was the Cuban guy with the braid?
You talking about Jorge Gonzalez?
Yeah. Oh my God, that overhand right was incredible.
You got to keep it in close, and you got to let it go from. Hold on, let me show you. You got to let it go from in here.
Yeah.
So if you have it out here, wait a minute, hold on. Did you see it? If you have it out here. Yeah, if you have it in here and let it go from, let me turn it in here. If you let it go from here, like tilt that shoulder down. Hold up, let me see. If you tilt that shoulder down in and just let it go, I can't show you that good, but if you tilt the left shoulder down and keep this close to you, you get a clean shot and it'll be more devastating. But if you have it out, it's going to take away from the power. So Slim was telling me try to keep it in tight like a bullet in a gun, and when it comes out, it's going to come out. It's going to come out really with power, and by the time it reaches its destination, it's going to really hurt somebody. But if you have it out, if you have it all the way out here, it's more likely not to really hurt a person. But if it's in close, if it's in close like this, and you let it go from here, you're going to hurt somebody.
Well, the thing is with boxing, right? Once you lift your elbow away from your body, it's an arm punch. You don't have to on that, right? So as soon as that
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's touch your core.
Yeah, so that's where I was taught to keep a lot of my stuff close to me so I could counter back, blocking jabs. These little things that Anthony Joshua could avoid the losing fights. Deontay Wilder will be undefeated if he knew how to block and slip and block with jabs. What's the matter with these guys? He got the guy he knocked out, and they criticized me. They was mad at me. Malik Scott, I used to spar with him, and I don't know, man. They was mad at me because I just said that why'd you get somebody that you knocked out? And it just don't make no sense. You know, he got Malik Scott and he knocked Malik Scott out.
At the press conference for Fury Wilder 3, he went down like a hot dog concession in a synagogue when he said to Deontay Wilder, "Why are you hiring a guy to train you who you knocked out in a round?" You know. Tim said to him, "Do you feel you've got enough experience to pick a trainer? Maybe you should take some advice." And Deontay didn't really care for that remark. I remember that.
Yeah.
No.
That was Tim's.
And you know what, guys? Yeah, but you know what else? He still has them, and I'm watching him, and he's still doing basic stuff that a beginner do. Deontay Wilder has to work on his jab. See, now if his jab is phenomenal, his right hand is going to get in there all the time. And his defense. Make sure his jab is just as good as his right hand. He's going to win the rest of his fights. But he also going to have to do defense. It really don't need that much, but they're acting like he do. He doesn't really need that much. Anthony Joshua doesn't need that much. A lot of those guys doesn't need that much. They in shape. All they need is a little basic stuff. It's a shame. And Deontay Wilder walking with his hands like this in front of people. You see, champ, Mike, you see how Deontay be holding his arms when he fight? That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
He be holding one hand this way, one hand is all awkward. And I love these guys, man. I love them, and I wish I could help them. I ain't got to be in the corner. Just correct some of the stuff that they doing. And I really feel bad about Anthony. He still looks the same. With a big guy like that jumping back when his opponent comes to him, he'll step back. Sometimes you got to keep your ground and stay there and slip. That looks beautiful and deliver your punch. But each time that guy stepped to him, he went backwards.
Yeah.
You gotta get that ground. You gotta gain that ground back again. And in your mind, once you go back about a couple of feet, you gotta think all over again to get there, think of something else. But if you right there in front of them, make a miss, you can deliver the punches. But mentally, if you go back a couple of feet, you gotta start all over your plan. Stay there and slip. It's okay to step back sometimes, but don't do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's obviously he shows signs of somebody that one has been traumatized by a punch, but I don't know if he didn't show that earlier. He got dropped by Klitschko and he got dropped by other guys, and there was didn't seem to be any fear in his game. I wouldn't say fear, hesitation. You know what I mean? Like he's unsure of himself. He's not afraid, but he's unsure of himself. And that's once you're unsure, that's interpreted as many different things. But if you're unsure, you're gonna hesitate. If you hesitate, you can't pull the trigger. If you can't pull the trigger, you're gonna lose every single time in boxing. That's
usually associated with age, isn't it? Like you talking.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say when fighters are old, they say you can't pull the trigger anymore. The opportunity's gone. That's exactly it. But when you're unsure, the same thing as being old, except maybe you could take it a little bit better. But you know, the same thing as being
old is 31. Old is 31.
Well, no, we're not saying he's old, but Michael's saying he's almost replicating the signs of old age with his mental hesitancy and the doubts he seems to be harboring. Yeah, you know, I think that's what he's saying.
He's got a lot of doubt in his mind. He doesn't have that confidence in himself yet. And I think when he works with guys, there's something inside of him that knows he still isn't getting it. He's not getting.
Listen, it's the skills. It's the skills, the confidence that jab could get in, or that right hand, he could get that right hand, or there's the confidence that's causing a lot of these boxers. If you don't be successful on a lot of those shots, you keep trying them, they keep getting through. If they get through, you get that confidence. He doesn't really have confidence from the people he's with. He's just going through the motion, and this is what I'm saying. He's just going through the motions. I don't believe that he have a full confidence with somebody showing him stuff. When I saw him, that little bit of footage, he's the same. He just got his hands closer to his body. That's all. I don't see that much of a difference.
Yeah. There was no head movement. There's a
lot more stuff he could do.
Yeah.
He don't slip. He don't slip, throw a punch. He don't slip this way. He don't block with his jab. He doesn't block with his jab. I seen the jab. He don't even do this. Wait, let me turn it over. He don't do this and catch it. He don't catch it or leave it there.
Basic.
It's basic. It's basic. Yeah. Catch it here. And if the hook come, turn this way. Catch it here. And and he don't do stuff like that. It's a shame, man. He said, Tim, I got my team, Tim. I already knew that he didn't know what he was saying. I talked to him on the phone, and I said, yo, man. I said, yo, I can help you. I said, I think I told him you ain't got to pay me. Just let me show you. And he said, no. He said, no, T. He called me T. He said, no, T. I got my team, and everything is okay. So I said, okay.
He called you T because he's from London.
What's that?
I said, he called you T because he's from London. Isn't that right, Ben?
Why? Why he say T?
Because he's from London. That's going to be, you know what I mean? It was a term of endearment.
It's like, yeah. Well,
wait a minute. So wait a minute. Joe Frazier. Wait a minute. So Joe Frazier called me Wooder because he can't say Witherspoon, huh? Now his agent told me, oh, I felt special. I said, man, Joe Frazier called me Wooder. I was like, man. He called me Wooder. And then his agent said, Joe Frazier. He said, his agent said, you know why he called you Wooder? Because he can't say Witherspoon.
That's funny.
I thought it was special. I thought I was special, man. I go into the gym, he would call me, and now I'm finding out what'd you say?
You thought it was an affectionate. You thought it was an affectionate shortening of the name. It was just literally, he couldn't manage the whole thing.
I understand. Yeah, Joe Frazier came up to me one time. It was Michael
Right.
fighting me, and he came up to me and he called me. He said, "You look just like Joe Simon." Remember Joe Simon? He was I don't know. Maybe Tim, you may know. He was American. Joe Simon. He had the power of Joe Simon. He had that album. He was a big like soul singer, crooner in the 70s.
Oh, Joe Simon. I think I remember.
Yeah. The power of Joe.
I think I remember.
Joe used to love singing, right? That was his thing. He was Joe Frazier in the Knockout.
Yeah, he could play guitar a bit too. And he had Duke Ellington play at his victory party after he beat Ali in the fight of the century.
So 71. Ben, you do an instrument too, right? Ben, don't you play an instrument and sing or something?
Yeah, a little bit. I play guitar and stuff. Yeah, a little bit.
You call him Johnny Rotten.
Yeah. I had that punk rock thing going on a little bit.
Yeah, he's good. I saw him. He's good. I saw you live.
But I just really feel privileged meeting you guys, being a part of boxing. I thought that I was going to be a professional football player. I worked hard at it. And now I'm a celebrity and stuff. I still can't believe it. In a way, I'm humble. I'll be around my kids. It's a privilege just to be friends with y'all guys and talking on the podcast, man. I didn't think I was going to. I just thought I was going to be an American football player maybe and stuff and went a little bit further, man. I ain't complaining about nothing.
For the Raiders, right?
I ain't upset. Huh?
For the Raiders, right? You want to play for the Raiders.
LA.
No, Philadelphia Eagles, man.
What?
Philadelphia Eagles.
It would have to be.
Philadelphia Eagles, come on.
Even I get that it would have to be that, and I know nothing about the American football landscape, but I figured it's a Philadelphia team.
Well, I only live 10 minutes from the football field. I live 10 minutes from the football field, and the baseball field. And South Philly was something. We had Italians, we had the Irish, we had the Jewish.
I was going to tell Ben. that if you thought Liverpool was bad or some of the English football, you got to come to Philadelphia. They don't play. They got a jail in that, like underneath the stadium, right? You guys got is it the Spectrum you guys got, or is it the Veterans Stadium? You guys had
the Spectrum is where they play ice hockey and basketball.
Yeah,
but the Vet Stadium is the big one outside where they play American football.
And they had a jail there, right? They had a jail there and a judge and everything.
I didn't know they had a jail there. Maybe they had the police station. Huh?
Oh, police
so they can arrest people who've been causing trouble at the game, yeah? Hooligans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, because they rally. Them fans.
Of all the league, Ben, Philadelphia they're the worst.
Okay, that's interesting. So they're a bit like the Millwall of America, yeah? They're basically the equivalent to Millwall Football Club, who have a legendary reputation for violence, but very little resume for high achievement. But
South Philly consists of Italians, Irish, then a lot of Hispanics moved in. There was Jewish, Hispanics moved in, and then you had the Asians, the Vietnamese moved in. But in the very beginning, it was just Italian and Irish. I would go to school in the Irish neighborhood. We had to walk together or else we would be in trouble. You heard the N-word all day long when I was little, because I'm older than y'all guys. We would walk to school together, then come home together. And if you was by yourself, you had to run home. And then when I went to junior high, that was in the Irish neighborhood. And we went there. But then when I went to high school, that was in the Italian neighborhood. That's where the mob was, Italian. We was in the Italian neighborhood, and it was a great experience, man. I had the experience with all different type of people. My first friend, when I was little, if I can remember, was this white kid named Mike, and he lived like 2 doors down in Winton Street, and he bumped his head. We was playing, and he bumped his head, and then I never seen him again. His mom stopped him from playing with me, but he bumped his own head. He fell. But I'm a black kid and he's white, and so so he never played with me again after that, and things. But it was beautiful. Michael Ravello, my Italian friend, lived across the street. Toddy, my Irish friend, lived down this street. This was when racism was going heavy, and I had friends, and I have Jewish parents. When I got a little older, I was 18, and my brother, this Jewish lawyer, would take me and my brother to the outside in the suburbs, to these Jewish people, and she would kiss me. I was like a little kid, and she kissed me, and I was like, this white lady kissed me. And I was like, all white people ain't the same. I mean, it ain't like something like violence and stuff. She kissed me, they fed us, they would feed us, they would take us out to play sports. And I was like, ooh. I said, everything ain't like, like in the neighborhood.
You said she's your mom. I don't understand. Was she like...
No. Her son, Peter Iskin, was my big brother. He took up for me one time. So he was a counselor. And he would come into the neighborhood and give up his time to help black kids that don't have nothing to do. He would come into the community center and help. So he picked two of the good kids that wasn't causing a lot of trouble, me and my brother, and he would take us to the suburbs on the weekend. And that's when I learned that things wasn't really.
But Tim, why didn't you guys cause trouble? What was it about you two that didn't cause trouble? Because you're all the same in the same place, right?
No, my mom, racism and stuff. I didn't want to have nothing to do with that. You talking about me being what, nice or something?
Yeah. Like you didn't react the same way as a lot of other kids that grew up in, you weren't.
Yeah, I was aware of what was going on, and not all white people were bad. Not all white people were bad. I had white friends that loved me, and I loved them when I was little. And really at a young age, I knew that not all white people didn't like blacks, and not all black peoples didn't like, the other way around at a young age, because she would kiss us. She would kiss us, and I'm like, Peter Iskin is mom. Then I went to Jewish camp in the summer. They sent us to Jewish camp, and he's a lawyer now in Ohio. He's a lawyer in Ohio. I haven't really been getting in touch with him. He was my big brother. He protected me. We was playing basketball. We was playing football, and this big white guy knocked me down. And he was getting ready to do something. And Peter came over and defended me. I was like, he's like, yo, just get on out of here. And he's not a tough guy. He's like a Ivy League, like a real smart guy. And I was like, okay. I look back and I said, whoa, he defended the heavyweight champion of the world. That's my man, Peter Iskin. So everybody in the neighborhood, let me say this last thing. I had a Buster Drayton and all of them was in my neighborhood, and it was bad. We were some tough people. He was the only white guy that could walk. I'm talking about Peter Iskin was the only white guy to walk in our neighborhood late at night or any time when I was little. And he walked in there, everybody respect him. The baddest black dude let him walk through the neighborhood. That was really cool, man. And I'm gonna get back with Peter. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I'm gonna get back with him and talk to him because he really opened my eyes up as a young man. My dad was there, but he wasn't all the time. Peter was like my big brother, man. And that's some of the stuff. We need to have a couple more podcasts, but not as long.
Yeah, it was brilliant to connect with you again, Tim, and you can come back anytime.
We family anytime.
For sure. So we're going to be coming to you all the time, no doubt, because there's so much more stuff to tap in that font of boxing information and cultural information that you have at your inside your head. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, Silk.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good things talking with you, Ben, of course.
Me and Mike be collaborating, just trying to stay busy and sharp. Anyway, we talk sometimes and go at meetings. We was just at the you going to the one in Long Island? You going up there?
I will not be there, but I saw you was
okay. You going overseas? You going overseas?
Yeah, I'm heading over to England pretty soon. Actually, I'm going down south to North Carolina. I'm going to see my son first, and then I'm going to be going to England.
In my mind,
that is beautiful.
Carolina, but I'm not going there physically.
Where's that?
I said in my mind I'm going to Carolina, but not going there physically anytime soon. Do you get that reference or not? No.
Yeah, wouldn't it be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning? That one.
It's James
Isn't that a song?
Like in my mind, I'm going to Carolina, etc.
That's a song.
You're always doing obscure musical references, so why can't I? In any case,
he got me back.
Hey, just remember this. Dylan White could have avoided those uppercuts. Anthony Joshua could have avoided some of the stuff that he went through. Anthony Joshua, he couldn't avoid it. Even Tyson Fury do a lot of things wrong, but he got a plenty of heart, and he's got long arms, and he's ready to fight you. That's Tyson Fury. He makes a lot of mistakes that if I was fighting, I would know exactly how to capitalize on him. But he's got plenty of heart, and he comes from the Gypsies. He has a lot behind him, support behind him, and everything. And he's like a warrior. He's like a king. He's like a king and stuff, and he has to live up to that. But I'm telling you, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, they don't have to pay me. I can really help them guys. I know I can get them to do it, man. I'm telling you. I know I can get him, Malik Scott, and them doing all this stuff that's not going to help them. They need defense. Deontay Wilder needs a strong jab and defense. Yup. So just have me on again.
Pick up the phone. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, management team thereof, whoever, in person, as you like it. Terrible Tim Witherspoon is offering to help. Where can you go wrong? Buy him. If you don't like it, don't buy him. Okay. Thanks,
there
guys.
You go. Okay. Thank you, Mike. I guess I'll see you. I see you or talk to you this week, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Stay around, Tim. We'll talk off the air. Let me just close it for the ladies and gentlemen. Ace Podcast Nation. Coming to Spotify tomorrow or later. Keep punching.